What's good, people? It is Tony the Savant. And before we get started, please like this video, share this video, hit the notification bell so you can be notified when I'm dropping content and going live on the channel. As well, if you haven't already, please subscribe to the channel as I drop content daily, go live daily, stay very busy on the platform. And last but not least, please leave your thoughts and opinions in the comment section, as I'm always intrigued to know what you all have to say about these topics. And ladies and gentlemen and ladies, it's Austin Reaves. And I just want to I would just want to shout out to Dominique, Dom, aka DA, over at Sports T. She's doing a great job building up her platform, man. I'm super proud of her. Dom is new to this game, and she has become a superstar overnight, something that you don't see happen very often in the sports world. So shout out to Dom, man. Rookie of the year for sure. She covered a topic, and forgive me, Dom, I meant to get some clips and some inserts, but we was watching some football. And as soon as the football game concluded, I started doing some research and some studies for some new videos. And of course, I came across Dom's video covering some comments made by Austin Reaves. Now, I just want to say this, man. I've been knee deep in some football stuff, so I haven't really paid attention to a lot of what's going on in the basketball world. I actually got a couple basketball videos that I need to upload. Like right now, they just sit in my archives waiting to be edited. But I wouldn't say the reason why I said thank you to Dominique is because I had no idea that this dude Austin Reaves made these comments that he made. And it just goes to show, man, these younger dudes, bro, they just have no real appreciation or real, how can I say this? I don't want to use the word love, but I think appreciation to do. They don't really have an appreciation for the history of the game. As Austin Reaves came out of his mouth talking about basketball, right? And I forget, I don't know if this was an interview of some sorts. He was on the golf course, I guess being interviewed by a blogger or a basketball content creator. I didn't know the gentleman that was interviewing him. But at the same time, he was on the golf course and the guy was just asking him some basketball questions. And he made a number of comments and he named his top five, which we ain't even gonna get into because I think his top five was Shaq, LeBron, Kobe, Steph, and I forget who he had in the middle. It might have been Kevin Durant, something like that. But just a young boys starting five, you know what I mean? Don't really understand what he's talking about because I would take the Dream, Hakeem the Dream, Elijah Wan over Shaq every day of the week. I would take Kareem Abdul-Jabbar over Shaq every day of the week. But Austin Reaves made some comments, and he was talking about, I feel bad because this dude, when he talks, Austin Reaves is one of those dudes that annoys me. I've been of the opinion that if this dude wasn't on the Lakers, he would be totally irrelevant, i.e. Kyle Kuzma. Austin Reaves is like Kyle Kuzma 2.0 with less skills to me. It's just he's playing that Kyle Kuzma role of whatever LeBron James wants me to do, I'm going to do, right? But he was being very disrespectful. He made some very disrespectful comments to Bill Russell in the era he played in. A lot of people, kind of tear down Bill Russell's. Well, I don't want to say a lot of people. A lot of these new basketball fans like to tear down the Bill Russells, the Wilt Chamberlains, the Magics, and the Larrys. Even they're beginning to disrespect that era because they deem and they feel like that era can't really match this era. When respectfully, to Dom's point, even though Bill Russell was only playing 9 teams back in his day, y'all got to remember, like, Bill Russell had to play the same guys over and over again. He had to play Wilt Chamberlain 3-4 times a week. not a day, a week. You know what I mean? So imagine going up against one of the best centers of all time, multiple times in a basketball year. Now, granted, it was still 82 games back in the Bill Russell era as well. But I don't take away from his contribution to the game because he just battled the guys that was in front of him at the time. At the time, those were the best basketball players available, and that's what made up the NBA at the time. It would be no different than, and I've made this comparison a few times, but it'd be no different if 30 years from now, the NBA incorporates some of these Olympic teams, right? Let's just say we get an NBA team in China and an NBA team in Paris and an NBA team in Africa, something like that. 30 years from now, and it would be the kids of those days talking about, well, LeBron James, he can't be as good as whoever, let's just say Wembanyama, if he's still playing in 20, 30 years. He can't be as good as Wembanyama because he didn't play the African NBA team, or he didn't play the China NBA team. It would be like, no, that wouldn't take anything away from the superstars of now, because they're playing the best of the best that's in front of them right now. You know what I mean? That's the whole point of the NBA, is to filter out the best of the best at that time and in that era. Now, granted, we've had extensions that's provided more opportunities to more players, but the rule is still the same. If you couldn't make one of those 9 teams back in the day, then you just wasn't good enough to play in the NBA back in the day. So, respectfully to the old eras, they just played the guys that was in front of them. You can't really nitpick at that because the NBA has changed drastically, not only since Bill Russell's era, but since a guy like LeBron James was drafted. LeBron is about to go into year 22, drafted in 2003, and the NBA has changed at least 2 or 3 times, and in the LeBron James era alone. But what was this kid? Austin Reaves. He was making comments talking about Bill Russell only played against nine guys. Also made comments, and I hate when these dudes do this. He did the Anthony Edwards thing, where he said that he doesn't really know about the Bill Russell era, so he doesn't count that as, and when he's factoring the greatest players of all time, which is pity him. Like, how can you be a basketball player, brother, and not have an appreciation for where you come from? Because let's just be frank, if Bill Russell didn't contribute to the game, Bill Russell pushed the game forward in his own right, and with what he had. He pushed the game forward. And then, you get to the Wilts, the Kareems, they pushed the game forward, and so forth and so on. So you get all these guys that push the game forward, and then you get a guy that wasn't even drafted coming out and disrespecting you, because no way, no how is Austin Reaves going to move the game forward at all. The day Austin Reaves is no longer a Los Angeles Laker will be the day he goes into basketball irrelevancy. All right, let's just be real. Where the hell is Kyle Kuzma? Respectfully, we all know he's with the Washington Wizards, if you didn't know. But nobody talks about Kyle Kuzma any longer, and that's what it's going to be with. That's going to be the same situation for Austin Reaves the day he is no longer a Los Angeles Laker. But he also made some comments. I don't know if it was him or the interviewer, but they was coming at Wilt Chamberlain's 100-point game, which don't get it twisted, man. I understand where the conspiracy theory has grown from this, as far as Wilt Chamberlain, did he score 100 points or did he not? I don't know. Me personally, I've heard both sides of the argument. Both sides of that argument make convincing, cases, but I can't sit here and say I don't know. I just go off what was on record, because again, 30 years from now, well, it won't be the same case at all, because we have video now. They didn't video record Wilt Chamberlain's 100-point game. It was only announced over. I don't even think it was announced over radio. From what I heard, and if I'm just going off from what I remember about it, I believe only the 4th quarter was broadcast on the radio, and none of the game was recorded. So I don't know. So that's what I say. But from 30 years from now, 50 years from now, kids could probably come at Kobe Bryant's 81. It would probably be some way, somehow for kids today to come at Kobe's 81 and be like, oh, did he really score or did he not? We can do that. But this is the whole thing. Basketball history, regardless of how you feel about it, should be acknowledged and be appreciated, especially when you're a professional basketball player. Respectfully, that's just what my line of thinking goes to. But I'm trying to think if he said anything else outlandish. He went through his top five. He was talking about how he doesn't play one-on-one back. Oh, no, no, no. He said that one-on-one basketball isn't real basketball, which I know that comes from the mind of LeBron James himself, because LeBron James is on record. Carmelo Anthony let us know, which that's one of my videos in the archives. But Carmelo let us know that LeBron James refuses to play one-on-one with anybody. LeBron just doesn't play one-on-one basketball, according to one of his best friends, Carmelo Anthony, which is just mind-boggling to me as a basketball player. Playing ones was just part of the warm-up. It was part of just, figuring out who was the Imano versus Imano. If it was some kind of a little competition that day, you wanted to see who was the best that day, then we did ones. But Austin Reaves was talking about how one-on-one ain't real basketball, but I adamantly disagree with that, because to an extent, all right, if you can't play one-on-one basketball, you're definitely not going to be good at 5v5 basketball. 5v5 basketball requires a little bit of sacrifice. You don't approach a one-on-one the same way you do a 5-on-5 naturally, right? But at some cases and some points in that 5v5 game, you may have to display your one-on-one skills. And we've seen this all through history, not just the NBA, college, high school. It's always a point in case where or I ain't gonna say always, but sometimes at some point in the game, you may need your better player or one of your players to take over the game. And if you don't have a one-on-one bag, let me say that, then you're going to be restricted to just being a specialist and just going to keep doing what you're doing, which is nowadays shooting threes. You know what I mean? And it goes to show, Austin Reaves talking about he don't play ones. It goes to show, because he has no ability to take over a basketball game whatsoever. Even Austin Reaves, I remember him scoring 35 in a game, but it was, it wasn't nothing impressive. I think I think LeBron and AD had sat out that game, and it was a very forgettable 35 points. He just shot some threes, shot up some clanky, ugly layups. We know how Austin Reaves plays. But I would challenge what he was saying as far as one-on-one ain't real basketball, with the theory of, well, at some points in the 5v5, do you not have to get into that one-on-one bag when your team absolutely needs a bucket? The other team on a 8-point, 10-point, 12-point run, and your team basketball ain't necessarily working at that moment. Yeah, you need that Kobe, you need that Jordan, you need that T-Mac. You need that guy on your team that can just get a bucket, get your team going again. But at the same time, just more ignorance from Austin Reaves. And it's coming from the mind of LeBron James, his influence. It's a fact, because these are the same things that we get upset with LeBron James about, as far as his disregarding of NBA history, just talking about he's the greatest to ever do it, with the most losses of all of the greatest players that ever did it. Ridiculous. And then even beyond that, it shocks me, because shout out to Dom, she really brought this back to my memory. But there was a time where Austin Reaves was talking crazy about LeBron James. You know what I mean? Talking about how LeBron James ain't good enough, and how Dirk Nowitzki was better than LeBron James, and all this kind of stuff. Austin Reaves used to actually talk some real basketball before he linked up with LeBron. And it kind of reminds me also of the time when LeBron first got to the Lakers, or when Austin Reaves first got onto the Lakers. How there was a little friction between those two, because Austin Reaves was a on public record as being a Kobe Bryant fan, and not being and not really rocking with LeBron James. Just this funny work, right? And there are still tweets up to this day. Dom put them out on Sports Tee. Shout out to her once again. But there are tweets still up to this day of where Austin Reaves was coming at LeBron James. You know what I mean? Just good stuff to see, man. Just good stuff to see. But you go from that talking real basketball, talking real facts, to talk, to dissing Bill Russell's era and talking about ones ain't real basketball. It's like, come on, man. Come on, man. Just I miss the guys that just love the game. And I know that Kyrie and KD get a lot of flack, for their personalities, but I love their approach to the game of basketball. They just want to play basketball, man. It's not even so much about who's better and who's, it's just, I'm out here to make my mark and y'all can talk about it, That's more so Kyrie's, approach. KD is a little bit more catty and so when it comes to these conversations, but respectfully, I just love his approach to the game, just working on my craft. It ain't about all of this nonsense, this sideshow stuff, man. And Austin Reeves is just a sideshow. Again, the moment he's no longer a Laker, we will no longer hear from Austin Reeves. You know what I mean? Unless it's something crazy, he get into it with his girl or something. I don't know. But that's all I got for y'all on this one, man. Tell me what y'all think about it. On the way out, please like the video, share the video, hit the notification bell so you can be notified when I'm dropping content and going live on the channel. As well, if you haven't already, please subscribe to the channel as I drop content daily, go live daily, stay very busy on the platform. And last but not least, please leave your thoughts and opinions in the comment section, as I'm always interested to know what y'all got to say about these topics. I am Tony the Savant. Peace.